Hello, Facebook Live. I have just been thinking a lot about the police murder of George Floyd, and with the riots going on in Minnesota, I fully support them. I support everyone in any way that they are expressing their rage at the police in any way. Like, I'm just, more and more as time has gone on, I understand that we have been too nice about this, too polite, and it has not gotten us hardly anything. I mean, it's gotten us nowhere, and we're still seeing the same shit going on over and over and over again, and it's fucking 2020, and lynchings of black people are still happening by the state, by our government. And the only reason that these cops have been arrested is because of the public outcry and because of social media, and that's the only reason. And they still haven't been charged, and that in and of itself is very fucked up, because they've been given all this time to, you know, collect themselves and get their stories together and talk to their lawyers and just hang out, you know, in their relaxing house with their loved ones and talk about it and think about how they're gonna what they're gonna say and how they're gonna move forward. And of course, when black people commit crimes, or even if they don't commit a crime and they're just accused of it, they get arrested immediately, terrorized immediately by the cops, killed, as we have in this case with George Floyd, abused, arrested immediately, and don't get this type of favorable treatment, preferential treatment, to take the time and get their story straight. Even so, that's even if these fuckers are going to be charged and arrested, which has yet to be seen. But they could be, and even still, that's not anything to get that excited about, because we've seen this happen time and time again, where they are acquitted, because it's just all too common that people lick cops' boots, and it's systemic, it's institutionalized, and that's what that means. And people are brainwashed into it. White people are brainwashed into it. And what I was thinking about, that I wanted to make this video about, was just about us as parents, white people who have kids. We need to talk to our kids about this, but it has to be ongoing. Like, hopefully you already have been talking to your kids about this, but if you haven't, I think that's okay. And it's not about like judging any white parent at this point. It's just moving forward, that your kids need to know, and they need to know details, I think. Because, oh, and speaking of kids, here they are. Here they are.
I figured out where you were because of the background. Yeah, we recognized the fire hydrant.
You guys want to say hi?
Hi.
So guys, I've been talking about how white parents need to talk to their kids about the police being racist and killing black people. And what do you think about that? Is there anything that you want to say about the conversations that we've had about that? Like, what? How do you? I don't know. Anything that? Do you have any advice for any white parents who are nervous to talk to their kids about it? What do you think?
No, I don't have anything to say right now.
Nothing?
I think you should talk to them about it, like to your kids.
You think that white parents should talk to their kids about police being racist and violent and killing black people?
They should people should definitely talk to their kids about it more, And they should do anything they can to prevent it from happening.
Any specific ideas about what they should say, or like I guess, how have we done it? Like, how have we talked about it? And I don't know, do you have any, because the reason I wanted to do this video is because I think some white parents are like scared to talk to their kids about it. So, okay, yeah. He just said that Daddy is watching the video. That Daddy's watching. Yeah, he is. Yeah. Hi, Daddy. Anyway, do you have any specific ideas? If there are white parents who maybe think it's like depressing, and they don't want to scare their kids, and they want their kids to think that the cops are, wonderful, and that the cops are heroes and stuff like that.
I think that if they don't want to scare them, then they can tell them when the kids are older. Like, if they don't want to scare them, they shouldn't tell them when they're really little, and the kids probably wouldn't understand then anyway.
So, like, at what age? What age do you think is good?
Like Zelda's age.
Like Zelda's age, and Zelda is almost
7.5.
Is almost 8. Yeah. But Zelda's almost 8, and she's known for a while, right? And I think she's handled it pretty well.
I feel like I've known since I was 5. I've known
4
since
or 5.
I was 5.
Mm-hmm.
That says tell your kids to tell classmates not to listen to their parents who teach them racism.
Well, right. Because that's the thing, is I think that a lot of white parents do teach racism to their kids, but they might not even realize that that's what they're doing. But that's
that's true,
I think. I feel like if you're not talking to your white kids about police violence, and that the police are racist, and what that means, I feel like by not talking to them about it, you are teaching your kids to be racist, even if it's not overt. Like, teaching your kids to be racist isn't saying, overtly, hey kids, here's, and then you make a racist statement about black people or other people of color. I think it's more, it's just the lack of talking about these facts. Then you're teaching racism to your kids that way. So, you want to say something?
You should also teach that to your kids, even if they're black.
Well, absolutely.
Because then, if you have kids that are black, then they could be aware if anybody tries to do it to them.
Right, but that's the thing, is I think that they do. That black parents typically, my understanding is that they do talk to their kids about this, because they're not able to not talk to their kids about it. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's why I think that this is important, because that, when we talk about what it means to have white privilege, it just means that we have the privilege of not talking about it if we don't want to, right? Does that make sense? So if I wanted to just not talk to you guys about it at all, I could, and then you wouldn't know anything about the police. Oh, that's nice. Then you wouldn't know anything about how the police are racist, and how they kill black people so often, and how horrible it is, and the details of it, because we are white, and if we wanted to just ignore it and never talk about it, we could do that, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
And
you can't see me.
And so, do you have any thoughts about that? Why do you think that that it's good that you know about this, and that we've talked about this, as opposed to the white kids who don't know anything about police brutality and police racism? Yes, Zelda.
Because if you didn't teach your kids about them, then they could grow up to be a cop and be mean and racist.
Yeah, and be part of the problem and keep doing it, right?
And if you didn't teach your kids that it's bad to do that, then they would develop their own opinion, and if they develop their own opinion about it without knowing that it's bad, they could start thinking that it's good
to be racist, or that that when cops are being abusive and racist and hurting and killing people, black people, people of color. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You shouldn't kill them because like they didn't really do anything to you at all. Yeah.
Right.
They just didn't do anything.
Right. Well, and it's like the thing with the police, this is, I always think, we are supposed to trust the police, right? Like we pay the police their salaries, their money with our tax dollars, right? Like they're supposed to work for all of us, right?
And only like 4 cops are good.
Only like 4 cops are good.
It's true.
Well, what do you mean when you say good? Because like we have talked about how it's like a problem for all of the police force, like, and you can be a person who understands it and you can work for the police, but the problem is bigger than an individual. That the problem is the whole system, right? But so what do you mean? When you say good, like
they don't try to kill innocent black people.
Yeah.
And they don't even try to kill anyone. They just do the right thing.
Right.
And
so
they're not racist.
So right. So the thing is, like, you guys are right that there are some cops like that, but are they helping to stop the other cops from hurting and killing people?
Well, your friend is.
Black people
your
especially.
Friend is, but I don't know about the other ones.
Yeah, so they're talking about, I have a friend, and I'll leave her name off of this video because I don't know if she would want her name included, but a lot of you already know who I'm talking about. But I have a friend who is a cop, a woman, who agrees with literally, like she knows that the cops are fucking racist, that they're fucking murderers, that they're abusive, and she is a cop, and she has told me stories about how she's pulled other cops off of people that they were trying to hurt, and she got somebody fired for that, and she's had retaliation for that, and that's the thing is, and I was, and I was just talking, and the kids know, like, I was just talking to her yesterday, and I was like, I want you to know I'm going hard, against the cops, and I don't want you to think that it's personal, but, like, I am not taking any of this back. And she was like, no, Sally, I actually agree with you. Like, yeah, we deserve anything that comes to us. Like, this shit is really fucked up, and, and she said she's thought about quitting many, many times, but that she hasn't, just because she wants to help people. Yeah, she knows, like, the rest of them are so bad and so awful and racist and misogynistic and hateful, and mostly Trump supporters, of course, and that she feels like she really wants to help and make as much of a positive difference as she can. But the thing is, like, and I've been telling her, I think that you need to write a book. You need to quit and go public with all these details of all this shit that you've told me. And so that's what the kids are talking about, because they know about her and they know that she is good. And this is how I say, like, good cops. I feel like a quote unquote good cop would only be someone where you can say that this is all cops, that they're all bad, and that they get it, even though they're a cop, and that they're not going to get offended by that or get defensive. And that's how she is, the friend of mine. I think that because it's not about the individual. It's like, if they're not aggressively trying to stop this shit, and that probably at this point kind of does mean, like, quitting and going public and doing, like, an expose, because this shit is so beyond, messed up. It's
also cats are the best.
Also, cats are the best.
If a lot of
what does that have to do with what we're talking
nothing.
about?
If a lot of people,
and personally, I like dogs better, but whatever.
I like all the animals the same. If a lot of people don't actually, like, speak up about the issue, then nothing's ever gonna get done. Nothing's ever gonna happen to stop it.
Right. That's exactly why I wanted to make this video, because I feel like, what other option do we have? Like, what can we do? We just have to try to wake people up and snap people out of it a little bit, and get people to, people need to be angry, and people need to tell their kids. They need to educate their kids on the details, and not just blindly assume, that all cops are awesome and wonderful and we shouldn't ever question them.
Because they're not.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, and also, I have something.
Exactly.
I have something to say. So, more people who are good and like who are not racist, and
They're like not speaking up about it.
no, and more good people should become cops, so that they like can stop the other bad cops.
Yeah, like they can learn what the cops like. Not exact. No, not like that. But like they learn the stuff about like why the cops are not like why the cops are racist, but like about the cops and like that they're racist, and they can like.
Zelda, stop whispering.
So when after they have like been a cop for a few years, then like they can start to like write books about it, and
Yeah.
people can like see what the problems with the cop actually
Yeah,
are.
exactly. To expose it. Like if they quit and if they expose it in detail. That's what I've been telling my friend to do. Because it's so horrible. And it comes from the top. That it's a cultural thing. Like there's overwhelmingly this attitude that for the cops that it's us versus them, and them being the people that they're supposed to protect and serve, and especially black people and other people of color. And I think that's the problem, and that's what we're dealing with, is that
People aren't speaking up enough. People need to speak up more.
Right. It's like they've got the code, what's it called? The blue code, right? A blue code of silence. And it's like where cops, try to protect each other, look out for each other. And it's like CYA, cover your ass. And they all are covering for one another. And it's at the expense of the people, especially black people and other people of color, and poor people, especially the most vulnerable. But it's really anybody who challenges them or their position.
They're like arresting and killing like people for like no reason. They don't have a reason to do it.
Right.
they're all innocent. Like sometimes the cops even just like arrest people when they're just walking on a sidewalk.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And they just like harass them and arrest them, and sometimes even hurt them and kill them,
Yeah,
right?
they might even. They sometimes even shoot just people that are taking a walk.
Yeah, and one time.
Yeah, especially when they're black, right? They don't really just do that to white people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, it's really, really sad, and it's horrible.
One time we saw a video with this woman who was walking her dog, and there was a black person,
Amy
and then
Cooper.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Amy Cooper, the woman in the video that we just saw the other
and then she just called the police on him, and she said that the black man was threatening her. And her dog.
Right,
But
right,
all,
which is a lie, right?
Because all the black man was doing was asking her to put her dog on a leash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a leash zone. The dog had to be on a leash.
Yeah, exactly. It was
And
no big deal. And she knew that the cops would also be racist, right? So she was like using that to her advantage, right? It was horrible.
And also, for the cops, you should, and for normal people, you should think before you do something to anyone, because you could just, they could just be like a normal person doing a normal thing, and then you shoot them, and then you would say it's an accident, but it actually wouldn't be
right.
an accident.
Yeah, and it's horrible. We should let people be able to live their lives just like how we do, right? We have that privilege.
If you're holding a gun and you shoot someone and you say it's an accident, you can't pull a trigger on a gun by accident.
Actually, sometimes you can.
Well, like, if you're, like, uncontrollable, then, yeah.
Yeah, it is possible, but typically it's not an accident. Right, that's the thing. Like, we know it's not an accident with these cops, and all they have to really just say is like, oh, I was scared, I feared for my life, and they can say that no matter what,
It's fake.
And then they get away with it. It's like they're above the law. That's the expression, is above the law. Like they can kill whoever they want and hurt and abuse whoever they want and just get away with it. And that's the thing that's so messed up. And they tend to want to do that more to black people because they dehumanize them and they criminalize them. They view them as suspicious, dangerous criminals because of the color of their skin. Right. So it's not to say that they don't ever do that to white people, because they do sometimes, but they're more likely to do it to black people and also Latino people, but like mostly black
people that are like from somewhere else, like
like, well, not necessarily from somewhere else, but especially people of color, right? And it's very sad and it's not okay.
Also, like what we were just talking about, white people can make excuses with shooting people and just saying it was on accident, but if black people did that, the cops would be like, you're lying. But with the white people, they would be like, okay, that's fine, it was on accident, I believe
yeah exactly. So like white people know when they call the cops that they're more likely to be believed, right? You're right, Zelda. And whereas black people and other people of color don't have that privilege, they know that cops are going to be more likely to think they're lying and then to want to either abuse them, hurt them, kill them, or arrest them, right? Yeah, that's definitely true. All right, I think I'm going to wrap this up. Anything else you guys want to say?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, just like the police and those people, they just need to stop doing it. Even if they take their job away, that's not enough. They need to like arrest them or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they definitely need to go to jail. Yeah. All right, anything you want to say, Zelda?
They complimented Zelda.
Say thanks for the compliment. Yeah, they read a compliment.
There's something I want to say. There's something I want to say.
Okay, what do you want to say?
Don't believe the police.
Right, because we know that they lie. We definitely should not assume that the police are being honest, because we've seen they lie time and time and time again. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you for watching this live stream with me.
With you.
Yes. With me. And me.
Starring Violet.
And me. The live stream was also with me.
And Felix. And my other daughter who just left with Zelda. And I'm Sally, and this has been great. Thank you.
And we hope we can do another live stream tomorrow, maybe. This has been the Cats Are the Best live stream.
The Cats Are the Best.
Thank you for watching. No, this has been the Cats Are the Best live stream now. Wait,
okay, I know. No, I'm gonna end the video. One last thing. That's totally unrelated to the topic, but I just wanted to show this new necklace that I just got yesterday, and it's a clitoris. So I felt like I should show that off because I'm very proud of it and very excited about it. You should put them on the screen. So, yeah. So that's my clitoris. Well, it's not. It's not my.
Put them on the screen to see what they have to say.
Put what on the screen? No, I'm gonna wrap it up. And actually, my phone's gonna die anyway, so I've gotta. But a real clitoris is bigger than this, like the full clitoris. But just so you know, I wanted to get this necklace because a lot of people don't know the details of the clitoris and how big it is and what it looks like.
Put them on the screen.
But this is what it looks like, and most of it is internal, and
put them on the screen.
But it is bigger than this.
Okay,
so just so you know.
Anyway,
and my kids know what a clitoris is, and they have had very good sex education, and maybe we could do another video about that. What do you guys think of that?
Can you put them on the screen?
Although Violet might be embarrassed by that.
I want to see what they have to say. Can you put them on the screen, please?
Well, we can read all of the comments when I get off of it if you want. We can do another live stream another time, maybe, where we like read the comments, and it could be like people ask questions and we could answer.
Put them on the screen.
So
okay, now we all have to
put what
say,
on the screen?
Now we all have to say.
Oh no! Okay, yeah, no.
We have to say thank you for watching.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you for watching.
Cats Are the Best live stream. Is it just not about cats?
and fuck the police, right? And yeah, and
Except for the good
yes,
police.
I say
And
the
get
F word in front of my kids, and they're fucking fine. It's fine. It's
and
fine.
get better sex ed.
And they get good sex education. That's right.
Okay, now thank you for watching Cats Are the Best live stream. Finish.
And Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
And that's right.
We hope we can do another one tomorrow.
Okay. All right, bye.
Thank you for watching Cat Server Best live stream.